Hello and welcome to a brief gameplay overview of the Society of Eccentric Inventors. I'm David Lindgren from Mono Opti Games, and I'm the designer of this game. The Society of Eccentric Inventors is for 2 to 5 players and takes approximately 60 to 90 minutes to play, depending on the number of players. As the game's title suggests, the Society of Eccentric Inventors is about peculiar inventors and their amazing inventions. These inventors are all trying to outdo each other by building the most impressive inventions. Successfully completing inventions rewards players with esteem, and the player with the most esteem at the end of the game is the winner. Alright, let's get started with the setup for the game. The esteem board is placed in a central area between all players. The esteem board keeps track of all players' esteem points, as well as what round it is. The shuffled award, eccentricity, incident, and composite invention decks are placed face down near the esteem board. The resource, Eccentrium, and activation tokens are placed within reach of all players. The shuffled mathematics tokens are placed face down in the empty game box. Next, each player chooses a specialty laboratory card. There are 5 specialty laboratory cards to choose from, each featuring a different inventor with a unique scientific specialty. The inventor I've chosen for this overview is Peter Salt, whose scientific specialty is chemistry. Each player receives the cards, tokens, and markers that match the color of their specialty laboratory card, as well as 5 Eccentrium tokens. Eccentrium is the currency of the game. That's it for setup, so let's go through the actual gameplay. The Society of Eccentric Inventors is played over 5 rounds, and each round consists of 4 phases. In the first phase, eccentricity, award, and incident cards are drawn. Eccentricities and awards present ways to score some extra esteem. At the end of the round, the player who meets the conditions on these cards scores the esteem points indicated. Each player draws 1 eccentricity card each round. The eccentricity I drew is Recluse, which will give me 1 esteem point at the end of the round if I assign my inventor to my specialty lab 4 times this round. Next, 1 award card is drawn each round. The award drawn for this round is Best Facilities, which awards 2 esteem points to the player who builds the most laboratories this round. All players compete for the same award. If there is a tie, all tied players score esteem from the award. Finally, 2 incident cards are drawn each round and affect each player. Incident cards represent life's random and not so random occurrences. As in life, some incidents have positive consequences and some have negative ones. The first incident card drawn is Research Grant, which immediately gives each player an additional Eccentrium token. The second incident card drawn is Overworked Genius, which states, for the rest of this round, 2 inventor tokens instead of 1 must be discarded to take an action at a lab. Assistants and spies are unaffected. In other words, inventors are less effective this round. Now we're on to the second phase. In the second phase, players gain and spend Eccentrium, and assign their inventors, assistants, and spies. Each player gains Eccentrium tokens equal to 1 plus the number of completed inventions they have in play. Since I currently have no completed inventions, I receive 1 Eccentrium. Each player may spend Eccentrium to build supplemental laboratories by paying 2 Eccentrium tokens to choose any laboratory card from their supplemental laboratory deck and place it in play. Supplemental labs give a player access to different types of resources and inventions. Each player may have up to 3 supplemental labs in play. Because I want to contend for the Best Facilities award, I choose to build 2 supplemental labs, a biology lab and a physics lab, so I pay 4 Eccentrium. Each player has 4 inventor tokens to play on their laboratory cards for free each round. These tokens allow a player to take actions at their labs. Additionally, each player may spend Eccentrium to hire up to 3 assistants and 1 spy each round by paying 1 Eccentrium per assistant or spy token. Assistant tokens allow a player to take additional actions at their own labs, and spy tokens allow a player to take an action at an opponent's lab. I choose to spend 3 Eccentrium to hire 2 assistants and 1 spy. During this phase, I can also spend Eccentrium to purchase mathematics resources, but I currently have no more Eccentrium to spend. I'll cover mathematics resources a little more in the next phase. Next, each player assigns their inventor and assistants by placing any of their inventor and assistant tokens onto any of their own laboratories in play, and assigns their spy by placing their spy token onto any opponent's laboratory in play. Because of my recluse eccentricity, I decide to assign all of my inventor tokens to my specialty lab. I also assign one assistant to my biology lab and one assistant to my physics lab. Let's say one of my opponents has a mathematics lab in play, and I assign my spy there. We now move to the third phase. In the third phase, players take actions at laboratories and complete and score inventions. My specialty lab allows me to develop or add chemistry resources and research or draw specialty inventions. My supplemental labs allow me to develop biology or physics resources and research composite inventions. Normally, each inventor, assistant, or spy token I have assigned to a lab allows me to take one action at that lab. But since the overworked genius incident is in play, it takes two inventor tokens to take one action. At my specialty lab, I decide to develop one chemistry resource and research one specialty invention. After an invention card is researched, it is placed face down next to the specialty lab and is considered in development. A player may have up to 3 inventions in development at one time. At my biology lab, I decide to develop a biology resource. At my physics lab, I decide to research a composite invention. At my opponent's mathematics lab, I decide to develop a mathematics resource, which means I draw and reveal a random mathematics token. The token I drew allows me to use it as either an electrical engineering or a mechanical engineering resource. Now I can complete an invention. The back of each invention card lists the resources required to complete that invention. I discard all the resource tokens listed on my composite invention in development. The invention card is then flipped over and is considered completed. The composite invention I completed is the Universal Translator. It's worth 4 esteem points, so I move my marker on the esteem board 4 spaces. I also place 3 activation tokens on the invention card. When activated, the special ability of this invention allows me to discard a mathematics resource I own to gain a resource of my choice, which can come in very handy. I don't currently have enough resources to complete my specialty invention in development, so I'm done completing inventions for this round. In the 4th and final phase, the eccentricity and award cards are scored. I met the requirements of my recluse eccentricity, so I score 1 esteem point. I built 2 labs this round, so I have a shot at the Best Facilities Award, unless an opponent built 3 labs this round. Let's say I at least tied, so I score 2 esteem points. And that takes care of the first round of play. All 4 phases repeat over 4 more rounds, and the player with the highest esteem total at the end of the 5th and final round, including a few end-of-game awards, is declared the winner. And that's briefly how the Society of Eccentric Inventors is played. The rulebook explains the gameplay in greater detail. Also, the strategy and nuance of the game becomes more apparent when actually playing with other players. There are many different eccentricities, awards, incidents, and inventions in the game, which creates a high level of replayability. Take care, and thank you for watching.